Forgot to hit the record button. We'll do it one more time. Welcome to B-School Community Call number 2. I hope everybody had a really good week. Hope you enjoyed the second module of B-School. As I mentioned in the email I sent a few days ago, this module will save you a lot of money. And back in 2008, when I had my first website created, I didn't know about opt-in offers. I didn't know about I didn't know that I was the one who should have been able to make the changes to my website. Like, I didn't think of that. And so whenever I wanted to post a blog or do something different on the site, I had to reach out to Carl and Gina and be like, hey guys, are you gonna have time to do this? They'll be like, oh, we're busy right now, but we'll do it next Wednesday. And I'm like, oh, dude, I wanna get this up now. And so I may have spent $1,200 on that website. Again, this was 2008. I was one of their first clients. And I had to pay again to have a new website pretty much done in WordPress so I can make the changes. Had that one done. And then I didn't understand this concept of above the fold. I'm not sure if Marie Forleo mentioned that in this week's module, but above the fold means what you see on the page before you have to scroll. And so your opt-in offer, you want to be right there in front of somebody as soon as they land on your site, because if they have to scroll, that means they have to find it. You don't want anybody to have to find anything. It should be right there for them. So I had to have the site kind of retooled a little bit to make that happen, because previous to that, my opt-in offer was like the bottom right-hand corner, and it was to subscribe to a newsletter. And these days, in 2019 or whatever we're in, email inbox real estate is very valuable. And nobody really wants to sign up for somebody's newsletter. You know, it's too general. It's like, what are you going to send me? I don't know what you're going to send me. Like, are you going to send me like a cool free opt-in offer where I'm going to learn something and get some tips, for how to solve my problem? Or are you just going to send me random stuff? And so we want to make sure that people are signing up to get really cool stuff, that there is an exchange of value there. Your opt-in offer is valuable. Their email address is super valuable, because their email address or your list of email addresses is your business. And as we talked about last week, it is your business way ahead of social media. Email list is super important. Now, before we get to today's topic, I do want to say something. I never want to discourage anybody in their ideas. But what I will say is, like, I will always be very honest about what I think about somebody's ideas. And I will also tell you that I'm not very good at the sandwich approach. And what I mean by that is, like, you say something positive and then you give the feedback and then you say something positive again. Like, that's never been my deal, because when somebody does it to me, I feel very patronized. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me what the deal is and what I need to do here. And what I find, like, online and in certain groups like this is, there's support, like, yeah, that's a really good idea, and I love that, and and I'll see that, and I'll go, that's probably not the one. And the reason I'm doing that is not only because I want you to succeed, but at the same time, it's because I don't want you to waste any time. That's the thing. Like, I could have had a more successful business way sooner than I had one if people would have been just more honest with me and just said, you know what, that's good, but here's what can make it a little bit better. Here's what can make it more specific. Because I think, I'm not sure if Marie's mentioned this phrase, but the riches are in the niches. And I feel like sometimes we're working with populations. And when you're trying to focus on an entire population, the message is too general and it doesn't speak to that person the way that you want it to speak to them. So when you get very specific, it really makes a difference, because, as I always say, it gets somebody to raise their hand and say, yes, that's my problem. Now, I want to give you an example. Did any of you, just by chance, attend the Sexy Back Summit, like 2013? Okay, so it was my 4th online summit. And I didn't know that my audience was really into, like, solutions for sex-related health conditions until Dr. Sarah Gottfried came on my show. And when she came on my show, the name of the episode was Own Your Vagina, right? She said the other word, but it was Own Your Vagina. And it got 100,000 downloads in like 2 weeks. And when it comes down to product creation, I like to look for evidence. I always tell people I haven't really failed at anything in the online space because I'm always looking for evidence as to like what people want. If they're raising their hand by 100,000 people listening to a podcast, I'm gonna go, oh yeah, they want more of this. So I'm gonna create more of this. So I decided to create more of that, and I created the Sexy Back Summit. Donna, I'm gonna mute out your, there we go. And so the Sexy Back Summit was an online summit, natural solutions for sex-related health conditions. And there were presentations about PMS, birth control, ED, infertility, and it was like a smorgasbord of things, right? It was a buffet. And we did maybe about $140,000, $150,000 in sales, which was far less than we ever expected. And as I thought about it, like, why didn't this summit do as well as we thought it was going to do? Like, what's the deal? What do you guys think it was? Anybody want to unmute or go ahead? Who's that over there? Michelle, go ahead.
Too many options. Like, it was speaking to too many different people.
Right.
But it's just all over the place.
Yeah, it was all over the place. So if you would have attended the Sexy Back Summit, there might have been 2 different topics that were for you, and then you could have just checked out and moved on. You know what I'm saying? If you were a guy, you might have done the ED one or something else, and then just been like, okay, I'm done with this. And so people are going to be less likely to buy. Now, after learning that lesson, I developed a second opinion series, and then it was just thyroid sessions. Crushed it. Digestion sessions. Crushed it. Depression sessions, did pretty well. It was like a $300-something thousand launch. We thought it was going to be way more than that. But the problem with that is we did it in the summer, which isn't the best time to release anything that has anything to do with depression because people don't feel as depressed in the summertime. Duh, Sean. We should do something like that in October, right? So just lessons to be learned. So you really, really want to niche in. Now, if it was the depression and anxiety summit, wouldn't have done as well. You know, if it was, even with digestion, it was $1 million launch, but it could have even probably done better if it was like my friend Siobhan does, like the SIBO Summit, where it's all about small intestinal bacterial growth. Or if it was the, I don't know, Constipation Summit, where it's all about constipation, because it gets one single person to go, that is for me, I want to attend the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody lands on your website, and maybe they're in this general population of somebody who's a little older and just doesn't feel good and doesn't have the pep in their step that they used to, and they're overwhelmed and things like that, they may land on the website and this week's post really speaks to them, but next week's doesn't. And then the week after that, it doesn't. And then the one after that, it does. And the one after that doesn't. And so it kind of jumps all over the place, and they're going to be less tuned into your website. So the riches are in the niches. And then as you crush your niche and you develop your expertise within that niche, then you can start to widen out. Like Dr. Sarah Gottfried is still doing female hormones, but she's also widening out to other things. JJ Virgin started with sugar, and then she's broadening out to other things. But to go broad and to go niche is to go backwards. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. See if there's anything else. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, so just to get back, I don't mean to discourage anybody in the group at all. I'm just looking to save you some time because there have been many, many times, I can't tell you, just real quick, I'm not always right also. But I will tell you there have been many, 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 many times where I've been like, it's probably not the one, and they do it anyway. And they're a year and a half in their business, and like, why isn't this working? I'm like, well, I told you why it's not working. But you wanted to do it anyway, and that's fine. It was a learning experience, but now we have to niche this thing in a little bit better. I'm saying, okay? So let's go into opt-in offers. Now, the purpose of your website is, of course, to help people, but it's also to build the email list. And you want to have a very compelling offer so people will give you their email address in exchange for that particular offer. So what I want to do today is brainstorm opt-in offers, or hear what your opt-in offer is, and then we'll give you some feedback as to whether that sounds compelling enough to actually start to sit down and to create. And so if you want to get on the air, just go ahead and put your hand up, and then I'll bring you on the air. We're going to start with Aaron. And this one here isn't about Me, I want this to be a group discussion because many of us in here are that particular person's avatar. So ask yourself, will this speak to me? Is this something that I would sign up for? Okay, so let's start with Erin. You are unmuted. Go for it.
Okay. Just to quickly tell you a little bit about myself, I'm a graphic designer, but I'm also a fine artist too. So I'm self-employed now as a graphic designer, and I do that from home, and I have for several years. But what I'm wanting to grow is my fine art business, because that's kind of taken a back seat over the last few years. I had some sickness and stuff, and I want to do that because I enjoy it more, and it gets me away from the screen. And also I'm hoping through the sales of prints and other things, it could be some income that I'm not having to sit there and log hours for constantly like I do with my graphic design. I bill that by the hour. So I want to revamp websites for both of those things, but right now I'm focusing on the art. And after my health issues, I've kind of changed the focus of what kind of art I want to create. And I'm wanting to create art that's about, and this may just be a bad idea and not work anyway, but kind of focusing on like just the beauty of whole foods, kind of like doing portraits of certain fruits and vegetables, and hopefully what will be a creative and beautiful way. Mm-hmm. So that's my new, I'm trying to create that art right now. I don't really have it created yet, but my website currently is kind of bad because I had it one way, and then I was trying to revamp it another way. And I've got all of my work on there that's kind of inconsistent. Like what I've done in the past is a lot of commissioned portraits, commissioned classic cars, that kind of thing. But I've also done a variety of things, but I'm trying to highlight my new work also. And I've had opt-in offers of like a discount code before. And it could be just that they're not working because I haven't driven traffic to the website. And I've had a few people sign up, but no really sales through it. So I have to figure out how to get people to the website to begin with. I've tried social media, Instagram and Facebook, and Facebook gets nothing. And I've had more through Instagram. I did like a contest, like a giveaway of a greeting card, and, sign up with your email for a chance to win kind of thing. And that was just a temporary thing. So in going, other than a discount code, I don't know for art, which is something that's such a luxury item, if that's really going to be effective. But I've seen other artists do things like cell phone wallpaper, which I don't know that anybody would really want that either, because usually I have photos of, your family or something on there. And the only other thing in working through some of my stories, writing stories to tell the other night, I was going back thinking about things, and I want to bring in my story, a little bit of my why I'm creating this art through my sickness and health journey and the things I've learned, because that is where my passion is, but I have no qualifications for educating that. So I just kind of want to marry my passion for health, fitness, healthy lifestyle and what that can do for our health with my passion for, creativity and artwork. So anyway, I thought when I was sick, I had done, like some line drawings that would be in my mind at that time, could be like coloring pages. And, they have these adult coloring pages, but they were based on like Bible verses and things. And I thought, well, that could be like a temporary handout, for some people, because I was thinking my ICA is probably health conscious women and possibly men too, who would be decorating their home. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just don't know for what kind of meaningful or what's really going to make somebody sign up, because not everybody's looking to buy art always.
Right. It would
but the really discount code is all I can think of that would really hook somebody.
That's all I can think of.
away art for free.
That's all I
Yeah.
can think of right now myself. And you beat me to it. I was going to say, you just got to get more traffic to the page. And now it's all about
Right.
how do we get more traffic to the page, and who exactly are we targeting? Because if you're going to be using Facebook ads to get people to your website, then who are those people that we're looking for?
Right.
Donna, you had an idea. Donna, do you want to unmute yourself? I'm sorry, not Bonnie. I'm sorry.
I was just saying that, I'm a natural practitioner, and I was thinking that, I've been to chiropractic conferences and things where there's lots of, whether it's on t-shirts or just to try and get people aware, and, food is really beautiful. And so I think that could be a potential market, of just having it. I mean,
Yeah, and
all the things I use in my practice are food based, and, real food looks amazing versus processed.
right, it does. I mean, it takes such pretty photographs on your plate and things. I just, and also I thought it could serve possibly like as a motivation for people. If you have a nice piece of art, with fresh fruit or vegetables, it's a motivation almost for people who are struggling to make that extra effort to cook the real food. If you have those kind of reminders in your home, but because for me, it's not an option. I have like a lot of food allergies now, and I have to cook everything from scratch myself or risk getting ill. So, but a lot of people, that when I talk to them, the struggle is the time and the effort and just getting into that. So, sorry.
I like what Bonnie's saying. Jennifer, thank you, Bonnie. Jennifer, if you want to unmute yourself, go for it. I think that the demographic or the target may not be so much like the average person, but offices and restaurants. Jennifer, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I thought about restaurants. Okay.
You just, excuse me. Yeah, that's definitely something. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I would love to have like beautiful artwork or something that I could display in my office. That I don't know if this would be in line with what you're doing, but I'm always looking for stuff for my marketing, especially now that I'm getting more into marketing. So maybe do you do like more photography based or?
It's paintings. I do actually do photography first. Usually I'll get my food from the farmer's market and photograph it, as beautifully as I can, and then paint from that. So, but yeah, I could do photos for like
maybe using the photos that you're using to inspire painting. Maybe a freemium that would be super valuable to me is to get like just a small group of like a group of photographs or paintings or whatever that I could use in my marketing, because I'm forever looking for things to make my marketing more appealing. And that's something I would do in a second.
Right.
So,
okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people in my space, same thing. We're always, where can I find good stuff? Where can I find good pictures without having to pay an arm and a leg? That would be a very valuable lead magnet for me personally.
I like that. That's really good.
Yeah, that is good.
Almost like like free templates for business cards and things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the opt-in offer that we're looking for if you're focusing on that particular demographic. Now, I would.
And another thing I thought of was like maybe a guide of how to hang art in your home, but or in a space, because a lot of times I used to paint really large, and I don't really anymore, but people are always afraid of something big, and they, you see tiny pictures, behind somebody's huge sofa, and it really doesn't fit the space, but I don't know.
I think that's like a video that comes with the product whenever somebody buys it, to show them how.
Right.
But that's not really.
Or maybe email videos, content, email content.
Right, but I don't think they're landing on the website because they're not so handy. I think they're landing on the website because they're looking for some art, and then you give them the handy part after they actually buy it, and you actually
Right.
have in your copy for the particular art that you're offering them. Like, it does come with like not so handy. Well, your artwork comes with a free video to show you how to, that type of thing, to kind of help.
Right.
Sometimes, like, I hate hanging stuff. Like, I'm terrible. Like, I think every picture in my house has holes in the wall behind it because I screw up. Right? That's just, I'm not the handiest person in the world. I call Tom the handyman. He comes to the house and he does all the stuff around the house. But so I think that would be just something to add to the package that you sell them. But I think that there's going to have to be some legwork to be done. And what I mean by that is to go to conferences and meet people and establish a reputation or relationships and a reputation so people can actually get some word of mouth about you. Like, oh my God, like where this artwork? Oh, we got it from Erin from such and such.com. You should check her out. Like that is where I think it's going to happen for you. I think it's more about the practitioners and healthy restaurants than it is more about the end user, average person.
Right. Okay.
Anybody else have a comment on that? An idea for Erin?
Is there a place to raise the hand, Sean? I'm not seeing it now.
Yeah, it's are there 3 little dots on your window there?
No.
No. It's cool. I can still see you guys, so just raise your hand.
Okay. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, Kate.
Dr. Dina Minich, I think that's her name. She has, her whole thing is about eating from the full spectrum. And she does seminars. She has a book. She has a PDF with that. And I think there are several other people in that space that all talk about eating from the full spectrum. So
Okay.
I know somehow connecting with them.
Okay. Yeah. I'll look.
Her stuff.
The name sounds familiar. I'm gonna have to look her up.
She was really big into detox. I'm not sure if that's her thing still, but that's how she got popular. Thank you, Kate. Appreciate it. Expos, that type of thing. Just going to health events, going to health masterminds. Like JJ Virgin has her Mindshare event that she does every August in San Diego. Do that because everybody is there, and that's a great opportunity for you to make relationships with people. And expos.
Yeah, and that's my interest too and passion aside from the art. So
Right.
I would enjoy it.
Paleo Effects has an expo. Like there's all these different events. Functional Diagnostic Nutrition, Reed Davis's course, they have an expo at their event every year. And so,
Are there any East Coast expos that anyone knows about?
I don't.
Because all of those be on the West Coast, and I'm in Georgia.
They're usually on the West side, but I don't think I've ever gone, like, I don't like flying. I'm just very earthbound. I don't like flying. But every time I fly and go to an event that I might have paid a couple $1,000s for, I always make more money while I'm there from the reputation, from the relationships that I make. And so I just got to kind of think of it that way. All right.
Okay.
Was that helpful, Erin?
Yes, it was very much.
Very good. Thanks.
Good to hear feedback. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Kim. Go for it, Kim. What you got? Where you at?
All right.
There she is.
Am I good?
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing me, so I didn't think I was on.
You're on.
Okay, I'm creating from scratch.
All right.
And I just made an adjustment after you said don't go general and then go niche, because I was thinking that I don't know as much as I want to be as specialized as I want. So I was being kind of general support for natural holistic healing of autoimmunity. I switched that to something that I'm more familiar with so that I'm leaving out thyroid and other things that I know less about so far or have less personal experience to gut related. So I don't know anything about building a website. I threw something together that I'm working on yesterday. I have it so that I can show it to you if you want. I have it so that when you go to my website, you're immediately on the contact page that gives you an opt-in offer, and it is in the above the fold, like you said.
What's the name of the website?
Autoimmune Self-Care. Or I can screen share and show everyone. You're not going to see the button when you pull it up because the button says, I want to know. And it's right below the click below to find out 8 things your doctor likely didn't tell you. And it doesn't show up, I believe, because I haven't put a URL for it to go to.
Okay.
And that's part of my question.
All right. So, Okay. So, all right. So give me the question one more time. I was slightly distracted. What was?
No, that's okay. I don't think I asked a question yet. Well, I guess the first question to ask is better to say, grab your guide to healing your gut than what I originally had, grab your free guide to healing now. So it's more specific now. It's gut-related autoimmunity.
Grab your free guide. So, let me start at the top here just real quick. I would eliminate a lot of this white space. So, and what I mean by that is when I land on this, what am I on, like a 13-inch or so?
I have a big screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
So folks like me who have smaller screens, we can't see the opt-in offer. So if
Okay.
you put this stuff over here up into the upper right-hand corner, and then I would nix this whole thing right here and get on 99 Designs or Fiverr.com and find somebody who's going to make you a good logo. And I would put it in here, up here in the upper left. And Help for Hope and Healing, I would change that to something that is more digestion specific. One thing I'll recommend to everybody here is to go to, so if your niche is people who have a particular digestive issue, to go to online message boards and sit there like literally for 6 hours and read as many posts as you possibly can. And it'll depress the hell out of you when you do it, but you will also find common phrases that they use. And when you can go like highlight those common phrases or copy and paste them to a sheet and see what kind of language they're using, and what you will typically find is you can find your tagline for your website somewhere in there, because you want your tagline to kind of match their language. So for example, Dr. Sarah Gottfried, hers is "at home in my body at last," because there are a lot of women with hormonal problems who feel like they just don't feel at home in their body anymore, right? And so that's something I would certainly recommend for you. So this white space is just taking up too much space. This goes over here, this goes in the upper right. Now another thing that, and I really want to emphasize this point for you, is health practitioners have a tendency to hide. And what I mean by that is we all want to make sure that we set up a photo shoot and that we have a photo that is going to go on the header of the website. It's called a hero shot. And that's because we want to be seen. The way that your viewer or your visitor is going to be able to get to know, like, and trust you is if they can see your smiling face. But if you're kind of hard to find on the website, then they're probably not going to trust you because they're like, I don't even know who this person is. And so get yourself something like, for my website, I'm looking toward where it says changing your life in 12 minutes or less. Like, I'm actually looking toward that particular text on the website. Actually, it's right here. You see how this is? They're following my eyes to changing your life in 12 minutes or less. Does that make sense? And so you want to make sure that your photographer knows that you want something where you're actually looking toward your messaging. Or if there's an opt-in offer that, you might want to just be a little cute. I think JJ does this a lot. She's actually pointing down to her free opt-in offer. Because if the mission, we'll say, or the objective of the website is to get people to sign up for your email list, then you want to draw their attention there. Because people aren't very attentive when they're online. Now, let's get to the opt-in offer. Grab your guide to healing your gut, what you really need to know. Click below to find out the 8 things your doctor didn't tell. Okay, I would actually change this to free guide in caps. 8 things your doctor didn't tell you about gut healing I don't love, about healing your gut, about gut-related autoimmunity I don't love. Kim, you probably have better language than that. So 8 things your doctor didn't tell you about what?
I don't know yet. Here's some silly stuff I'm dealing with that you don't know about. Since I know nothing about website design, and yesterday was my first day doing anything ever, the template I'm working with, I would put, in a certain language and it would throw it to the second line in an odd spot that I hated. So I would change the words to make it go to the second line in a better spot. I tried to put a picture up and I couldn't figure out how, and those kinds of things. I don't know how to get rid of that white space because I'm in a template. Maybe I need a different template. So some of it I think, oh yeah, it could be better, but I don't know how to make it better yet.
I got you.
I changed the language a lot because it kept doing stupid things and that kind of stuff.
Do you have a website budget?
No, I have no budget, no money for anything yet. This is just very beginning phase of, I didn't even think I would be doing a business yet.
Gotcha. One thing, I want to stick with this for a second. I would go free guide, 8 things your doctor didn't tell you about such and such. 8 actually might be a little too many. I like odd numbers, 3s, 5s, and 7s. Those tend to work better. And so 7 things your doctor didn't tell you about gut healing, or whatever that word may be that we're kind of hung up on. I would also, and this you can do through Fiverr.com. That's FIVERR.com. Have somebody make the actual cover, so a digital cover for your book. Because people, they'll read the words, but at the same time, when you can show them the cover and the cover looks really cool, it makes them go, I want that. Okay. And another thing for everybody here is typically when I create a product, I have Carrie, who's my graphic designer, before I even sit down to write whatever the product is, I have her make the cover for me. Because once the cover is done, I'm like, oh, now it's a real thing. Oh, that looks really cool. Now we got to work on it. So it just kind of puts a little bit of a little fire under me when I do that. So hero shot here, change the language a little bit, and then a 3D graphic. And 3D just means that it's a graphic that you have the spine of the book as well in there, or it can be flat. It can look like this if you want it to look like that. Contact. See, this is the part of the website where you want to start having some content. So blog posts and things of that sort. The contact part of it will probably go like at the bottom here, or it'll go just here, where people will actually go to a particular page to contact you. And
that is the contact page. I forced that to be the home page so that you were on the opt-in offer first. It's just how it automatically was laid out that the opt-in offer was on that page. I could someday figure out how to put it on the home page.
Right. Now, one thing that I do want to recommend to you, because here's what happens with coaches creating their own websites. It's doable. Very seldom do I see a good one, to be honest. 99% of the time, they're pretty bad. The colors are bad. Things aren't readable. The font's too small. It's because people go to school to learn how to create websites. And, I can remember back in the day, I actually remember the exact day before I hired Carl and Gina, where I was standing in Borders. Oh, I miss Borders. The bookstore was my spot. But I was standing in Borders in the computer aisle looking at big, thick-ass books about how to code CSS. And it was like, no, I'm just simply not going to do this. And so that's why I hired somebody out and I just put it on a credit card. It definitely paid for itself over time. One thing that I would recommend, Kim, question for you. What kind of content are you going to be creating to start? Are you going to be writing? Are you going to be doing podcasting, video? What do you think?
My thinking is blog. I think I'm not only more comfortable with it, but I've been complimented on expressing myself in writing. So it's a familiar way to offer support to people.
Right. Shit, so you need a website.
And that's also kind of where I was at right now, is just thinking, how can I offer support, free support, and, providing value for people. And then down the road, some period, I don't know the time frame yet, that's when I've got an offer that they might want to be working with me, but not immediately.
Okay.
While I'm building an email list and a following.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I would, let me think about this for a second. And the reason why I'm caught up on the blogging part is because for the blogging part of things, you actually need a website for that.
Yeah.
The suggestion that I was going to make earlier is like, if for those of you who are interested in podcasting or maybe interested in doing video, you don't really need a website for your free opt-in offer. What you need is like a Lead Pages account. And what Lead Pages allows you to do is to do something like,
that was part of my question too, is I didn't know if when they click on the button that says I want to know, am I then taking them to a lead page? Or just a page of my website that's not normally visible?
Hold that thought.
Not in the menu.
Hold that thought for just a second. We'll get back to that. So for those of you who may be curious about a Lead Pages account, so it's leadpages.net, L-E-A-D, pages.net, and they have lots of templates that you can use. And so if you're a podcaster or you're doing YouTube, you get yourself a Lead Pages account, and you can just drag and drop all of this stuff. And so I would just go here, delete the letters, and then just write Just Eat Real Food. And then I put my sub headline, and then I just drop all this stuff in here, and I'd sync this up with my MailChimp or my Infusionsoft account, and away it goes. Like, this can be curated pretty darn fast as opposed to creating a whole new website. So again, that's for YouTubers and podcasters who don't have the budget right now for a website. I believe that leadpages.net is like $24 a month or something like that. And it's certainly
if you pay a year in advance. I think it was like $37 if you paid monthly.
Yeah.
Also, Marie had recommended Thrive Themes, which offers some lead pages, and you could do one license for $67 for the year, I believe.
Okay, good. All right, so I'll get your costs down. But this will be the way for you all to build your list if you're podcasting on YouTube. Now, getting back to Kim, your question about clicking on, what was you said when they click on something that they would go to your lead page?
Yeah, there's actually a red button right below the that where it says click below to find the 8 things your doctor likely didn't tell you. It shows in my editor, but it's not showing in the published. I think it's because there's no URL where it's supposed to go yet. I think when I plug that in, the button will show up.
Right. I'm not sure. That'll help. So if it just opened up a new tab and went to a lead page or to a squeeze page, that certainly work. Another thing that you can do with lead pages is you can have, it'll just do a pop-up. So when they click on get my book or send me my book, they click on it and a pop-up comes up and there's like an image of your book and then there's like name and email, and then that'll capture their name and their email for you. Also, you can do it like this. Again, I'm not sure if that's in your theme, but just on the site itself, there's first name and email and then the button to send their copy. And so,
I know WordPress has some forms that you can create, so might be able to do it with that even.
Yeah, quite possibly. I'm not familiar with the back end of WordPress. What I will say to all of you, though, if even if you can find somebody on Upwork, because there's a lot of website designers who will make you like a simple 3-page website, and they're charging you $500 for it, just throw it on the credit card. You'll save yourself a lot of time and headache and stuff like that if you just go ahead and hire that thing out. Trust me. I feel like, business people should be working in their business, and time is very valuable. And I will tell you again, 99% of the websites that I see that health coaches or just business people in general have made themselves have not been attractive, not just to me, but to the visitor who lands on the page. And so, for example, if I were to, Kim, if somebody were to say, hey, I'm an expert on making money, go to my website, and their website looked like it was made by themselves, you kind of go, well, you're probably not an expert at making any money because this website doesn't look too good. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're a health coach and they land on your site and it just doesn't really look very visually appealing, they're probably going to go, this person doesn't really make any money and they're probably just getting started right now. So a way for you to kind of leapfrog over all that stuff is to, and I'm sorry to say, just like drop a good $500 on some college kid to, buy beer and make you a really nice website. Okay.
Yeah, that'll in my situation, that'll be a while. Don't even have credit card available.
Gotcha. Well, that's where like the law of attraction comes in. You know what I'm saying? Just put it out there. We talk about this.
I think that's part of what's held me back from even starting anything is I'm like, I don't have the budget for it yet, so I can't do it yet,
Right. Then I would actually look into, again, this isn't my specialty. I've never been a blogger, but a Tumblr account, a blogger account. And if anybody here has any recommendations, let us know. But just kind of like a generic account where you can actually start to blog, but there's also themes, so it looks kind of cool at the same time. I think that will be better than trying to build a website from scratch, from the ground up.
If I do something like that, how am I collecting emails?
You would actually, for every post that you create, there would be a call to action for them to click on it.
Okay.
It opens up a new tab, sends them to lead pages, and then they sign up for the thing. Also, I'm not sure if you can do this, but I'm 99% sure you can do this. There's something called a lead box. So let me give you an example. Paleo hacks coconut. Okay, so let me go back to sharing. So Paleo Hacks is like the most famous paleo site. My buddy Dave runs this. And so it's a post about coconut oil for dogs, but you'll see right here, this is called a lead box. So you can actually, this is a feature of lead pages. You can put this box, just it's like a line of code, into your blog post. So coconut oil has hundreds of health benefits. Learn how you can experience them with our free guide to coconut oil and its benefits. Click here for your free copy or get your free copy. And then there's a pop-up. And that's how people are going to sign up for your email list. So you can do that. Also, you can do, let's see if they have anything at the bottom here. Okay, they don't. But sometimes for some posts, there will be a banner at the bottom of the post itself where people can click on the banner and that will open up another tab so they can sign up for the freebie. Also, you can link words. So maybe your post is about coconut oil. And every time you mention coconut oil, you link it, and then they can click on it, and it'll open up the squeeze page to sign up for your email list.
Forgive me because I'm learning all of this for the first time, but if you're posting blogs like that and you have one of those forms to grab their email, is that blog being hosted on my domain, the autoimmuneselfcare.com, instead of a website?
Honestly, I don't know. The hosting, I found that out to my tech guy. I know nothing about hosting. Yeah, so you might want to ask about that in the Marie Forleo's B-School group, or ask somebody in our Facebook group. They'll know. Not my thing.
I probably spent about 7 hours on tutorials and Google yesterday just to manage what I did so far on my website.
Yeah, and I mean, just
to figure out how to point my domain to the web hosting, because web hosting wanted me to transfer the domain, which is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the fact that you're learning it. That's great. But if you've spent 7 hours already, this is probably going to turn into a 200-hour project. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where personally, this is just me, I would start looking for shit to sell on eBay or on Craigslist. Like I'd be like, yo, here's this TV. How bad do I need this TV? Let's put it on Craigslist and let's get a couple $100 for it. Let's do a yard sale. Let's mow people's lawns. Let's get some I don't know, clothes out of my closet that I haven't worn for a long time and take them to Buffalo Exchange or whatever and sell them. Like, what can you do over this next week to generate some income for yourself? You know, that's what I do. I'm sure you guys have all heard my story about taking my TV back to Best Buy so I can sign up for functional diagnostic nutrition. Those are just the things that, you know, we're all going to have to sacrifice in order to come up with the $500 to $1,000 to hire somebody to knock this thing out in a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? The things that you sell, you're probably not going to miss anyway. You know what I'm saying? Anything else, Kim?
I don't think so.
Okay. I feel like I wasn't that helpful for you. So the bottom line here is have somebody else do it.
Yeah, that's always the dream. I want somebody else to do everything, cook for me and clean and
I hear you. Me too. All right, thanks, Kim. Let's go to Michelle. Or did we already do Michelle? No, we didn't. Michelle, what's up? Michelle Ward. Oh, there you go. Oops, we're doing it at the same time.
Okay, here we go. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good. And so I do appreciate your honesty, although there's not an although. I'm a very direct person myself, and sometimes it gets me in trouble. But so I can understand. But okay, so I thought I had this great niche market, but clearly it's too broad. And so I'm trying to come down the funnel, and I have all these things in my head, and so the thing that I came up with now is just, so the broad look is that these are women and empty nesters. They have dedicated their lives to their families, which is a great thing. Their kids are leaving, and I'm kind of in that space right now where I've got a daughter graduating this year, one graduating next year. But probably about 5 years ago, I was like, what am I going to do with my life? I mean, I was already coaching and all that stuff, but like I play tennis, but I don't. That's about it, and coaching. And so I find a lot of people are in that same space that I'm in. So I thought, oh well, this is a great market to embark on. But you had said, and I think you had said there's a lot of people. That's most women my age, right? So I thought about that 11:37 in the middle of the night. Like, what am I Googling? And I think what I find with my clients is that they're getting older, they're feeling older, they don't look good. And so I came up with an idea of how to reverse aging, or, so from a holistic standpoint, which kind of got me excited. And then I think, well, maybe that's too broad too. So my opt-in offer right now, but prior to this week, is a 7-day wellness jumpstart, and it's very, just generic. And I've had one person sign up for it, and that was my mother-in-law. So clearly, it's not. And if you go to my website, it's very generic. I mean, it's pretty. I spent way too. I think now hearing you, I think I spent way too much money to create something that doesn't deliver my message. So I've been working on that, and then I delete it, and anyway, I hate the pictures on it, but I like my logo and all that stuff. But so now I'm sorry, go ahead.
What's your URL?
themichelleward.com.
Okay, go ahead.
So now I've come up with 9 reasons you are aging faster than you want to for my opt-in.
Okay, so I want some audience participation here. So there's probably some people in this group who are in that particular demographic. What do you all think? Feel free to unmute yourselves.
I'll jump in. I think it's a little bit too broad. Like, I think anti-aging, it could be skin, it could be weight loss, it could be hormone imbalance, it could be so many different things. And I think, going back to what Sean was saying earlier, of being like super specific, like get your skin looking amazing, or, I think, I don't know, in my office, I have somebody who's a natural esthetician, and people pay amazing amounts of money. I had no idea, like getting their eyebrows tattooed for, over $1,600. And, it's like the money is there. And I think how we look externally is important as we age. Like you just see like, oh, wow, my hair is graying, or look at those wrinkles. And, like finding out like what those pieces are. And we all know that nutrition affects the outside, but people want the outside first. So right. I think kind of speaking their language of like, what do they want? Do they want their skin to look amazing? What are you going to do? I don't know.
Okay. Well, all the things that I have written down for the 9 things to reverse aging all would help the skin. So that's and I have people around, I live in Texas, and in Dallas, Texas. So there's a lot of vanity that lives here. I cannot tell. All my friends do Botox and the fillers and all that stuff, and they're like, "How? Surely you do Botox?" And I'm like, "No, I would not. I don't, and I won't." And well, how do you keep your skin looking so good? You know, it's like always the question. You just must have good genes, so that might be a good thing for. I mean, yeah. So I like the idea of coming in with the skin thing.
So someone to model would be Dr. Trevor Cates.
Okay.
She started her whole business, and I believe she's still doing it. Well, obviously she is because it's on her website right now, on skin. So here's her site, thespadoctor.com.
Mm-hmm.
Is this her homepage? Maybe it's not her homepage. It's the about page. There you go. So good. You can see her face. She's smiling. There is and she goes to like the marketing events. So she's been implementing this stuff that we're talking about. Hero shot, smiling face, an image. So that's a 3D graphic. You can see the spine. You can see the pages there, nice and clean. So if you just in your mind's eye, just take out the image and just see the text, it's not as appealing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely like to see the picture there. So clean skin from within. There's an actual process for healthy, glowing skin, and I love to share it with you. Get your free copy plus shipping. Boom. It goes to another page, and you've got the offer. There's a video there. There's the opt-in here. I'm not sure if this is so it's actual physical product that they will send to you. Right now, don't worry about that. Just make it a PDF. One thing that I would not do, like this is for actual shipping the product, so they're gonna need somebody's last name. But for everybody else here, first name, email address. Don't ask for last name, don't ask for phone number. Beyond name and email address, the more information you ask for, the lower your conversion rate is gonna be. Just name and email. And you want to make sure that name is first, email second, not the other way around. So this is great because you can land on the website and be like, yeah, I want to have better skin. And she looks like she has really good skin, just like people say about you. She's a model for what I want to be like. I want to sign up for this. She introduces herself here. She's got testimonials here, which is great. Testimonials are amazing to have. And then she's got her products. For most of you, it'll just be content, blog posts, videos, and things of that sort. And when I say content, I mean like dynamic content. What I mean by that is like every time you create a new post, it pushes one piece of your content off the page, the home page, and it replaces it with the new one. That way when people come to your site, every week they'll find something new. Does that make sense?
However, I like it, but I do like that. But do you have more than one opt-in offer? Because I mean, I'm not a skin expert. I mean, maybe I have good skin and all these things are going to make, you have better looking skin. I'm more about like the whole mind, body, spirit, holistic approach to health and wellness. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like all these things will go ahead.
What is the main complaint? So I remember we talked about you being kind of general right now and you want to niche it in a little bit more. Is the main complaint going to be bad skin that they want to improve? Like what is going to be that anti-aging thing that you want to focus on, as Bonnie was talking about? I'll get you in a second, Kate.
The anti-aging thing. It's not even the anti-aging. It's reversing the aging process from the standpoint of how you feel. I feel like crap all the time. I've accepted the fact that as I get older, things just fall apart. And that's not true. That doesn't have to be true. So I don't know how to communicate that in a way that is effective, concise, I can't tell you how many times I go to lunch with friends after we play tennis or after a workout or whatever. And they're like, well, my joints are hurting, but I guess it's just because I'm old. And they're like younger than I am. They're, and I'm like, that's not true. It's because you're eating, sugar. Or I don't say anything because they're not asking, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all can understand what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to convey, it's like you don't have, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to get old.
Yeah, and I understand that. But then at the same time, it's about what is the thing that you really want to drill down on? Is it joint pain? Is it getting older and have bad joints? Is it getting older and seeing your skin start to fall apart? Is it back pain? Is it like, what is that thing that you really want to focus on? And I think that when you come up with that decision, that way, as we talked about last week, Isabella Wentz, her website is about thyroid, and she can connect everything to thyroid. Holistic health, digestion, business, all of these things can be connected to thyroid. And once we figure out what that center of the business is going to be, then it just can kind of all come together and nothing really gets cut out at all.
Well, I think skin is probably a good start. I mean, everybody is doing weight loss, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I don't think that really sets me apart,
Right. Weight loss is a tough one. You really have to do something very unique around weight loss. But skin, I think is great. Kate, go ahead. You're unmuted. Wait, now you're unmuted. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Michelle, so I'll be direct, like you said, but I think the thing that's kind of maybe throwing things off is that word reverse. Because I really see you looking forward and you saying, I have the tools or the knowledge to be able to go forward positively.
Mm-hmm.
But the language, when you use reverse, it's a word that means backwards. And the people that are talking to you are talking from a place of fear of going forward, because forward means aging and death or whatever, falling apart. So I'm just wondering if you remove the word reverse and it was about, I don't know, going forward into a new season of life or going forward without fear or something that just communicated the direction that you seem to be looking, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So like with the whole skin health or just not the aging gracefully. I mean, not that kind of thing. What do you think?
It just seems to me like what your passion or what you're describing or what you feel good about it is not aging or reversing something. It's about living, but
Mm-hmm.
in a new season and with maybe different tools or and doing it without fear.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think words that communicate that is and get the focus off of what you're trying to run from or avoid or try not to go and revert or
Right.
Oh,
That's good. That's good feedback. I don't know how to package that again and make it a concise, I'm just gonna have to brainstorm with myself.
I like the idea. I will say this, and this is gonna sound a little bit bad, but it's just the truth, and this is why we buy things. And this maybe 10 years ago, and I was watching Frank Kern speak. Frank Kern's like the internet marketing guy, really, really, really good at what he does. But I remember he's saying, it's gonna sound bad, but it's a metaphor. Stick the knife in them and twist it. And what I mean by that is you get them to focus on their pain and to really make them acknowledge, like, yes, I have a significant pain that needs to be fixed. But when we're trying to be like maybe really positive, it doesn't really focus on the pain. And we need to not stick 'em with a knife, but we need to say, hey, dude, your skin sucks. It makes you feel bad. We need to fix it, and I can do that for you. But
So can I say something like that? Can I say something like that? Does your skin suck? Let me show you how to.
You know what? But you're a very direct person. If that's your personality and that's how you want to say it, and that's going to be the language that you're writing or podcasting or doing video with, and you say, hey, does your skin suck? There are going to be people who land on your site who love your message, who love you because you're being who you are authentically, who say, yes, my skin sucks. And they probably say it to themselves all the time in their head. They go, dude, every time I look in the mirror, my skin sucks. Maybe that's it. Now, I know it doesn't sound like really positive and stuff like that, but it really acknowledges their pain and confirms what they've been thinking. My skin sucks. Now, how can you fix my skin so it doesn't suck anymore?
I like that. And that's and so I did that exercise. I sent out the email to the 20 people and asked them to give me, my top 3 superpowers. One of the things that came back is that I am very honest, and direct. And so people expect that out of me. And I don't really mince words. I just kind of say what's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my personality.
And what you're going to have a hard time doing if you try to say things in a nicer, less direct way is you're gonna get some serious blocks. When you're writing, when you're talking, because you're gonna always be in your head going, am I being too direct? Am I being more direct than my content? And it's really gonna mess with your head. And so just be who you are. If you're gonna be in your face, your skin sucks person, be the in your face skin sucks person. Just keep it real.
But okay, so again, that's focusing on the skin, and I get it. I mean, everything affects the skin. I mean, the environment, mind, body, spirit, whatever, the whole holistic approach to health and wellness. But am I pigeonholing myself to where I'm not able to really be the holistic health coach that I'm wanting to be? You know what I'm saying?
So say it to me one more time.
Okay. So I've never focused on skin, for example. Okay. I've been the mind, body, spirit, holistic transformation from the inside out, which I guess is too fluffy,
Well, not really.
Okay. How do I link the two together?
You're giving a holistic inside out approach to better skin.
Okay.
That's it. Like everything you just talked about, like holistic nutrition, all that stuff, it all goes back to the skin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you eat better, if I have a terrible diet and the next couple of months I start eating better and taking care of myself and meditating and reducing stress and all of that stuff, my skin is going to get better.
Right.
Somehow, some way. And so you can literally link everything back to the skin. It's the biggest organ. So there's almost nothing positive that you can do that's not going to affect the skin anyway. So you have like the perfect center of the business that you connect anything to.
Okay. Whoever came up with that, I don't remember who said that. Was it Bonnie? Thank you, Bonnie, about the skin. Okay. And just by the way, I know we're almost out of time, but I picked up 2 clients since I started this, which is crazy. So it's going to pay for B School. I'm so excited. Yay.
That's awesome. That is great. Let's clap it up for that one. I was just telling my Money Mind Academy students yesterday, because they were talking about investing in themselves and going to seminars and spending that money versus saving their money, because I really want them to get into the habit of saving their money. I always say, like, when I go to a seminar or when I sign up for a class, my first thing that I think about is what Wallace Wattles talked about in his book, which is cash value versus use value. And what I mean by that, if a course is going to cost me $2,000, before I invest in that course, I'm going to go, okay, what is this course about? How can I use this to improve my business? And will I be able to make more than $2,000 back when I apply it? Now, if I'm not going to apply it, of course, the answer is no. But if you apply it, then you'll make many times over what you all paid for B School. When I turned in my TV to pay for functional diagnostic nutrition, it was $800 something, maybe $895 that I paid for functional diagnostic nutrition. I made at least $1 million from what I learned at functional diagnostic nutrition. The Dark Side of Fat Loss, my ebook, it still sells all the time. Everything that I did, whether it be on the podcast or on the online summits, was rooted in functional diagnostic nutrition. If I didn't take that course, I probably wouldn't have been doing the things that I was doing. And so you always have to think about it that way, cash value versus use value. Cool. You feeling pretty good about that, Michelle?
Yes. Thank you all very much for your feedback.
Now that you know the center of the business, now your brain will start to work on, okay, what is this ebook I'm going to create? What's the tagline for my website? What's going to be the name of the ebook? What's going to be my messaging? But when we're scattered, the brain can't lock in and work on the one thing. Now you got the one thing, your subconscious mind will start to work on it, and it'll all just kind of unfold for you. Good stuff. Let's go to Carrie. I'll hang on as long as we need to for this. I have nothing to do but work out, and the gym's not going anywhere. And if anybody wants to roll out, we'll see you next week. If I didn't tell you already, I can't remember. Next week, we're going to start at 8:15, so 11:15 Eastern time, because I will be in Portland for a Joe Dispenza seminar on Saturday. So who is next? Is it Carrie?
Hello.
Hey, Carrie, what's up?
So I am a veterans reintegration coach. So my focus is on veterans who are retiring from the military, and I have a special place in my heart for the special operations community. And so I have a website. It does need some tweaking because when I built it, that was definitely not my niche. So some of the stuff, it just needs to be reworked. But I do know how to go in and fix all of that myself. Even though the website right now is not specially focused towards that niche, I did pay to have it done. And I'm so glad that I did. And that I also know how to go in and fix it, change things around myself. So yes, pay to have it done, because I spent so many hours in tears, literally crying, trying to figure out how to do my website. So my quick question, I guess, for my opt-in, I know that the way that I have spent my money is usually through a webinar, and getting to know that person really well, and then moving on to coaching with them. So that's kind of where I was headed with my opt-in, to do like a webinar. But I was thinking, like, how long should it be? That's kind of
an hour is a pretty good general rule for a webinar. I think after an hour, people tend to tune out. So 50 minutes of good content, and then 10 minutes on your pitch is great. And then after that, once the hour's up, then you just leave it to open for Q&A, so you can overcome the objections to whatever you're offering them. Yeah. Who has a really good breakdown of a webinar would be Russell Brunson in his first book, .com Secrets. I think it's in one of the latter chapters. It might be the last chapter on the perfect webinar. He may have a course around the perfect webinar as well. He has this stacking approach to the pitch, which works really well. So I would certainly check that out.
Okay.
Your website looks good. I'm looking at it right now. It looks good.
Oh, thanks.
I love that you hired somebody out. I love, that you saved yourself all the time and stress of trying to do it yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. That's it?
That's it. Easy peasy.
Easy. All right. Thank you, Carrie. Okay, let's move on to Anna. Go ahead, Anna. Or Anna.
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 Hi, can you guys see me? Because I don't see anything. I see a black screen.
Yeah, we see the black screen. I can see if I can start up your, it's not letting
I tried. I don't know if it's my computer. I tried. Last time I was able to show myself to you guys, but now, all right. So I guess I'll go without my face. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So after last call, I saw how you helped. I don't remember her name. How you helped her define her niche, saying that she wasn't being specific enough. So can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, because you're frozen. Okay, now you're back. Okay, yeah. So I'm a holistic.
Just standing still.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I'm a holistic nutritionist and a weight loss coach. Mm-hmm. And what I was looking into was hormonal health, but then it's so broad, right? There's so many things. And then I started digging, and then I was like, diabetes type 2. People suffer usually people become diabetic after they have metabolic syndrome, which usually includes weight gain, right? So what my idea was, type 2 diabetes has a very specific group of symptoms, and weight loss is in there too. So I kind of look into type 2 diabetes weight loss as my niche, right? And yeah, so I'm pretty new. Like I don't have a website yet. I have someone working. I got somebody to help me with my website. She's a designer, so she's working on that. So and I have an opt-in. So my opt-in would be something like a 5-day challenge, like a sugar-free challenge. And I would change the name for something more specific, like Beat the Cravings Challenge, because diabetic people usually have lots of craving because of insulin. So I would create something with no sugar, low glycemic, so they would see how the diet can help them, like have a feeling of how good you can feel. What do you think? What do you see?
So my first thought, give me 2 seconds. I always want to see something really fast here.
I describe my avatar on the group. If you want to read that, like kind of like I wrote today.
Okay, I could take a look at that. What's the guy's name? Why is he not on this list? You know what I want to do, and I'm going to write this down so I definitely remember to do it, is to hit up my friends over at healthmeans.com.
Healthmeans? Okay.
Healthmeans.com, because they're the ones, not Healthmeans, Health Talks Online. It's the same thing, but
Health Talks, okay.
Because they've done a couple summits on diabetes, and I want to know how well it's done. And the reason why I want to do that is because diabetics are a very, very tough community to tap into. There's a lot of like resistance in the diabetic community. Like my mom is diabetic and you can't get her to change shit. Like it just does not happen. And during my entire time of underground wellness, I don't think I ever interviewed anybody who was an expert on diabetes.
Okay.
I'm starting to wonder, like, is there a reason for that? Is that a, yes, there's a lot of people who have diabetes who are diabetic, but it makes me wonder, like, why aren't more people doing that since there's such a lot of people who have diabetes? Like, going on with that space. I really like getting with my friends over there at Health Talks Online just to kind of get some data from them to see, okay, you guys did this summit on diabetes. You have all of these affiliates who are promoting it. Was anybody signing up? And if people did sign up, did they actually buy? You know, these people who actually are going to spend money on diabetic solutions online. And so I kind of want to reserve my thoughts on this until I can talk to them. But I can send them an email today and get back with you in a cost.
Yeah, because I know of one person, like I am part of Lori Group Business Academy as well. Lori Kennedy, I'm in Toronto.
Okay, yeah, I know Lori,
Yeah, so I saw in the group that we are, there's only one person that is a diabetic. Her website is Undo Type 2 Diabetes. She's the only one in the whole community doing that. So I thought about that, like, why is only one? Because I know hormonal, like my passion really is like women's health, hormonal balance, and all the diseases, and weight loss is a big one. But my thing is like, how do I get more specific? Because there's so many women doing that, working with that niche. Yeah. Something else I thought was like pre-diabetes, and no, but that one, like perimenopause and menopause maybe would be more.
Menopause is a good one. Yeah, I like menopause. So here's the thing, like, because, I mean, if weight loss is your thing, 60% of the population is overweight. It's not going to be hard to find people who are overweight.
Yeah, exactly.
What is going to be like the front end? Are you going to say, hey, I'm the weight loss coach? Like for me, the vast majority of my my digestion clients when I was doing functional diagnostic nutrition were overweight. So like the front end wasn't, hey, I help you lose weight. It's like, you got digestive problems. We're going to help you lose weight at the same time. That was much easier. David Jockers was the, was it David? I feel like maybe I'm wrong on this one. Let me talk to Health Means.
Okay, all right.
And give you some more information before I start guessing on this one.
All right, okay.
All right, thanks, Anna.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, let's go to, why can't I do that? Jeanette, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, so I think I got my website maybe too soon, so I don't know how to use it. technology scares the crap out of me. But I have a website and I'm willing to kind of dig deep into it and hire a new web developer because I feel like I'm hostage to mine because I don't know how to use it. I am a health and wellness coach. My background is physical therapy, but I do work for a network marketing company. I don't have to worry about products or anything like that. So I actually have an ebook that I've done in the past. I would love your feedback if I can share my screen and allow this to be the opt-in. I am going to change it because I think graphically, but just to get your kind of like, I was thinking of maybe putting a picture of me, but then you said maybe a food. So this is kind of like the start. My avatar ranges from 27 to 47. They struggle in the kitchen. They need healthy recipes for their families. It needs to be quick. So
I like it. Hey, what's the name of it again? The name of the...
Oh, I didn't do a name because this is like an old version. So now that I know after I took this, I kind of have to call it maybe like a 10 easy healthy recipes for the family, something like that. I don't know.
All right, something like that. You don't need to have your face on it on the cover. When I say have your face on, have the face on the header of your website.
Okay, so this is good. You like this picture, and I'll just kind of call it something.
It's a good picture. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I think it can be a better picture.
Okay.
Because I think like the background's kind of faded out, it's a good shot, but I feel like
it was purposely so I can just do the real picture without fading.
Yeah, I think there's a more appetizing picture that you can use. Yeah.
Okay, noted.
I think so. Go ahead.
And I did this, and I just had this. Maybe this one actually, the carrots.
So I would have so for these like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What are the different? I make it more of like a table of contents. So
okay.
What's the particular dish? What page is it on? That type.
Perfect.
Of thing.
Okay. It's very simple. I can change it up and make it a story, a little more storytelling, or just simple.
It doesn't have to be storytelling so much. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. I think it's one of the better ones that I've seen, like the self-made ones that I've seen. Actually, I would give it a B+.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, B+ is phenomenal for me. Whenever I look at something like this, I always go like, there's that missing je ne sais quoi. You know, there's that missing thing that like a $200, $250 investment in a graphic designer will take it to a whole new level. Where you'll be like, you can't wait to show people your cookbook. You know what I mean? And so I would recommend that for sure.
And like I say, I have no problem spending it. This was simply done in Canva, like quickly.
Right.
Okay, it's a good first draft.
No, I mean, like I said, it's a B+. It looks dope. I like it a lot. It's just missing just a little bit. You want people to, when they download it, it's precious to them. You know, they're like, oh man, I got this really, I almost want to print this thing out. Like, this is dope. This is beautiful.
So the graphic designer, I would give them the content, like the pictures that I have now, the wording, it would just them kind of making it prettier in the sense of font.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've done most of the work already. Now it's just somebody who's just going to put some polish on it, you know?
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Hey, like good stuff. Really good. No problem. Okay, let's go to Tressa. Tressa, unmute yourself. Let's rock and roll.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I am actually on a mini vacation this week visiting family in Arkansas, so I'm a little bit behind in my B-schooling. I have just finished the module 1, completed module 1. But I have been thinking of some opt-ins. I just haven't been thoroughly thinking, so it's kind of run by my idea. I don't know if you've seen my website. I did have hire somebody and pay quite a bit to get it done, and with the idea that I could go in and do my blogs, you know, edit it at the, like you say, right on the fly. So it's really working out for me as far as being able just to go in there and create my blogs. What my idea was with the opt-ins was we talked last week about how your emails connect to your blogs and your social media. They can all work together. You're not creating a bunch of different things. I'm thinking that the opt-ins can work that way. I have an affiliations section on my website already that I've started. My website is primalprescribe.com.
I'm on it right now.
Oh, good. And so I was thinking for my opt-ins, because I'm going to, my affiliations are actually products that I'm going to either use every day or that I endorse because I have used them in the past. I know they work for certain particular things, or I just love them, you know. So I will endorse all of what my my affiliated products are going to be. So with my blog for the week, I'm thinking of my opt-in also reflecting some kind of product in my affiliation program that I would that relates to that particular blog in some way, and I'm endorsing that and with a discount or something like that. And so my opt-in would change basically every week according to my blog.
Too much work.
Too much work?
It'd be too much work. Yeah, you don't want to keep change your opt-in all the time. Just make it one opt-in, hang with it for a few months, see how well it converts, and then you move on to something else. Actually, if it's converting really well, you don't change it. Even
if it's a product.
I don't. Okay, so when you say product, you mean there's a particular shampoo that you like to use,
or a supplement, or
right.
Yeah.
For that. That's not really an opt-in offer. That's more of a link. That's like an affiliate link. So let's say you I don't know, I'm just throwing this out top of my head, Pantene shampoo you use. You write a post about it, and one of your favorite things that you're talking about in that post is Pantene shampoo. There's a link that they can click on, and it's going to open up another page so they can actually go and buy it. So it's not really an opt-in offer, it's an affiliate link, and then you get paid a percentage of the sale for the Pantene shampoo. But that's that's an affiliate link and an opt-in offer. Two different.
Yeah, and I understand that. But what I was thinking is kind of connecting the two. Whereas, let's say I'm talking about some gut healing, and I want to talk about a particular bone broth supplement. Okay, or talk about if you can't make your own bone broth. There's supplements, really good supplements that you can use in that case. So having a link to an opt-in, even on my homepage, but also in the blog, that takes you to that pop-up for discount for bone broth on this supplement. So they send the email, and from that email, I generate a discount code for that product. So I get their email, they get a discount code by giving me their email. And then on that email is also the affiliate link, with them clicking on it, and it takes them to my affiliate link with that provider.
Yeah, you can do that. My thought on this, I'm a fairly unconventional guy when it comes to a lot of things, but when it comes to marketing, I think there's some really basic principles in marketing that we want to follow, and I think the opt-in offer, the way it is, which is to give the, and I think Marie even talked about this in the modules this week. Your opt-in to kind of flex your muscles as an expert and to give the person who receives your opt-in offer some results in advance, which is going to build knowing, liking, and trusting so that they can become a client or a customer down the road for you. I don't think that criteria really meets what you're talking about. What you're talking about is getting somebody onto the list in exchange so you can give them a discount code. That's not going to give them results in advance. That doesn't establish you as an expert. That doesn't make them want to work for you or work with you. It just means that you are a source for a discount code, and probably once they get the discount code, they're going to jump off their email list because they don't want anything else from you. So I wouldn't do it that way. Again, that's just more of an affiliate link thing. get paid a commission for that particular sale. But I would have like a real opt-in offer, a free guide, a video series, something like that, that pertains to the person who wants to work with you or buy something from you.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I'm behind. So I haven't really delved into that. That was just the thought in my head that I had right off the bat. I am, and I have started writing a guide, and it is called Simple Shifts. It's a guide on my road to optimal health or something like that. I haven't quite tweaked it, but I do like the Simple Shifts title. The subtitle I'm kind of trying to get.
The subtitle, Simple Shifts it's there's some alliteration there. I like it. I love alliteration. I just got an email from my buddy Michael Fishman this morning. I haven't heard from him in a while. And one thing that Michael Fishman, he's like a marketing expert. He's the guy I learned a lot of stuff from. And one thing that he always says when we're together or in a group or something like that, especially in like a newer group, he says, nobody wakes up in the morning wishing they had optimal wellness. Like nobody. And that's what we tend to see in the health space is optimal wellness, like you can thrive and things like that. But no one says, oh my God, today I really want some optimal wellness. Nobody does that. People are like, yo, I need this constipation or this diarrhea or whatever it is to go away. You know, that's the thing. We really want to niche in on what that particular pain is. Can you give the group some information on your target demographic, your avatar?
Well, I've been working on that, and I mentioned that I really, really do not want to. My ideal avatar does not have a lot of comorbidities. I do PT, and it's not that I'm unaware and not somewhat educated in that area. I just don't. That is not my ideal avatar.
Who do you love working with?
Who
do you love working with? Who is that client that you work with and you're like, yes, I got that one. This is going to be really fun. Who is that?
That's the one that I've been describing as, the woman that is just like so dissatisfied with where she's heading because she has just lost herself in her family, in life that has not, she has let expectations and circumstances take control of where she is, and she's realized her health is suffering from it, her emotions, her relationships, everything is suffering from this.
Is that what
she's getting older and doesn't know how to get out of it?
Is that what she comes to you for, or is that what you find out about her?
She comes to me for health. It would be the health aspect because her health is suffering because of this.
What part of the health suffering though? Like what is suffering about her health? Like I get all like the things that are going on in her life and how she feels, but like what is the health challenge that you love dealing with the most? You love working with the most?
I want somebody to have their ideal body composition that when they look in the mirror, they go, wow, I am I'm very confident in the way I look and feel today.
Okay. So
regardless of age.
Is it weight loss?
It could be, but not necessarily. You could have this real scrawny girl who looks in the mirror and says, ugh, that's awful too. It's more about a healthy body that is, allows you to be able to do the activities that you want to do. You have the energy to do what you want to do. You feel like you look good in your clothes. Nobody is, you buy the clothes you love because you look good in them. You don't have to buy baggy clothes. You don't have to, hide yourself anymore. And
how do people find you now?
How do they find me now? Well, we talked about this last week. I'm not so sure about but I will give them my business card. I will give them my brochure. I will go to my SEO things. I'm still, because I hadn't really honed in on my niche, so I haven't changed those yet. I don't want to change them and change them again and have to change them again. Right. But I've been giving health talks at some, like the YMCA and things like that.
So I'm sorry to cut you off. You're really
No.
good at the in-person, talking to people, connecting with people, and that's how you're finding your current clients. Online, it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. And here's the mistake that I don't want you to make. I don't want you to try to apply what you've been doing in person to an online business, because it's not going to work. Like, as opposed, so if we take away the in-person stuff, how is the online side of your business going?
Other than drawing people to my blogs, I haven't gotten any, because I don't have an email list. And I've only had my website up, what? Maybe a month.
Gotcha.
I had one that was thrown together, but this one that you see now, that's more, more complete and that I'm building, is been up maybe a month.
Does anybody here have any comments to help Tressa out? Nope. Tressa, you got a question? Go ahead. Nicole, go ahead. Then we'll go to Bonnie.
All right, hold on, I'm unmuting. My comment is, it sounds too general. Like, I feel like I'm in that same space of your target market, but yet everything you've said hasn't hooked me yet. I don't know. I guess that was my only thought so far, is that I'm not drawn in by what I'm hearing.
What about something like Stop the Fear of Aging?
I think going back to what, and I'm bad with names, what we were talking about before with the skin, because I feel like you two are in the same kind of realm, is that it does need to be sort of focused and specific on one thing, because people are in our age range and sort of, empty nesters or whatever, they haven't been focusing on themselves at all. They've been focusing on their kids. They've been focusing on other things. But when I hear this, and I'm in the same, space, and, my target market kind of was those people, I found it didn't work for me. I feel like people didn't want to pay for that, even though that's where we're all at. So I'm changing my target market to a completely different thing. I think people when I'm hearing, I do not want to hear I need to, the negative, then I don't know, I shouldn't say that. I liked what Sean said about the knife, and about getting them, with where the pain is. But I also want to feel like I'm going to be awesome and beautiful, as I age. So I think it's a really tricky space to hit, the type of person we're going for. But I do think, like what we talked about with the skin, I think it needs to be really specific. I did some weight loss. I did not find that was a good avenue, because most people our age, even if they want to lose weight, they're really bad at listening. And they really, I found I had to focus on something else. I focus on internal health and feeling great, and more of, decreasing the stress and the anxiety and things like that. Focusing on skin, what have you. But when we're focusing on weight loss, I feel like they try, and then they drop off because they didn't stick with it. So I don't know. I'm kind of rambling here, but I don't know.
Well, my program, my service that I'm starting with is a Reset 21, called Reset 21 program. That's what I'm promoting currently. And it's all about strategies for healthy behaviors from an ancestral approach. That's what I do as a primal health coach. I show people, we look at they know what's healthy. They know that eating potato chips and watching TV and drinking sodas. I mean, people know what's healthy and what's unhealthy. What they're having problems with is, what are these roadblocks that have kept them from becoming healthy? And so we, that's how we work together. And then I show them strategies for them that they can implement for healthy behaviors from a primal approach, not from, South Beach approach or whatever. It's, I have a very specific approach to health and wellness.
We're going to go to, thank you, Nicole. We're going to go to Bonnie in a second and then to Kate. One thing that I would recommend for a lot of you is something called the Google slap. And what I mean by that is when we say, when we put our approach on the front end. And so let's say, for example, you're a primal coach and you're all about the primal diet. First of all, like, most people don't know what the primal diet is. And so the first thing that they're going to do if they're interested in your service is they're going to go to Google and they're going to punch in primal diet. And we have to think about, what are they going to find? And what they're going to find is good stuff and really bad stuff as well, because there's so much information online. And as soon as they stumble across some of the bad stuff, because individuals, as people in general, do have a negativity bias, they're going to be like, nope, that's not the approach for me. So we don't want to make primal or paleo or whatever as the front end of it all. That's what they learn when they get on the phone with you. You know what I'm saying? That's part of your program. But you really want to focus on what the pain is, because you'll blow yourself out of the water. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And I know in my SEOs and stuff that it's been primal, and it's all been to do with things that involve around the primal sphere. Right. So I do know that, I just got to figure it out. I really do.
You're getting there. You're getting there. I think that you got to get more specific.
I do.
It can be challenging to get more specific. Also, like, I think people you're getting a lot of people in person. By the way, if you use a powder, like a green powder or something like that, and you stir it and it's kind of clumpy, a frother is the best mixer ever. You just put it, boom, it's done. Anyway, so, and I think that I looked at your website. Your website looks good. I think you're landing people in person because they want to look like you. You have a very vital, healthy look to you. They're like, I want to look like you. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you're going to have to put pictures of you on your website, because you are going to be the model of, the result that they want. And that's probably what's coming through. Like, your messaging is coming through, your look is coming through, all that in person, but you're not doing that on the internet. Let's go to Bonnie. And then we'll go to Kate, and then we'll do Nicole, then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead, Bonnie.
I just had a quick question. Sean, you were saying that, like, when you're good with people, but then, that doesn't necessarily translate to, your website. How are you making that transition, or what, how do you do that?
So I can give a general talk about health in front of 20 people at Sprouts. And based on the fact that they signed up for whatever it is and they spent their time there and they're definitely interested in learning more about health, and they see me speak and they like what I have to say, I'm going to land a couple of clients every single time that I do that. And that could be a more general talk. And the difference between me doing that talk in person versus me doing that online is it's probably not going to land with a lot of people online. Like, first of all, they're probably not going to find me if my messaging is that general, because people really aren't looking for general stuff online. Also, if somebody signed up for my talk at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or Sprouts or something like that, we're in a place where a lot of healthy people are. So there's going to be a higher likelihood that they're going to sign up for a talk like that and be able to resonate with the message. So there's just a difference. You can be more general when you're doing talks in person, but you can't be as general when you're doing content online. It has to be about something to get them to raise their hand. Does that make sense? I feel like I didn't explain that very well.
I think it makes sense.
Okay.
I just was kind of curious about that because I feel like a generalist, and it's like I have this fear of getting too specific, but I think, you know, you pick something specific to get those people and then you just bring it back out like you were saying. So that makes sense.
Yeah, start niche. Like we talked about last week, keto for women is a sub. Like the riches are really in the sub niches is where they're at. And so really niche in, and it's gonna speed up your business so fast, it's ridiculous. The hardest part for most people is, number one, deciding, because we tend to live in an indecisive society. People have a hard time making decisions. And number two is feeling like you're cutting yourself off from so many other things. But you're really not cutting yourself off from a lot of other things. You're giving people a reason to get their foot in the door. If someone's got digestive problems, they also have detox problems. They also have weight loss problems. They also have brain fog issues. If somebody has brain fog issues, they also have digestive issues. They also have weight loss issues. They also have maybe diabetes, blood sugar issues. So it's going to be about like, what is that one thing that's going to get their foot in the door, instead of saying, I'm the everything expert, come and see me. Then people are like, well, I don't have anything to see you for because I don't have an everything problem. My headaches are the main problem that I have. And you're not an expert on that because you do everything. This is why, and I think like, because a lot of us, and this isn't everybody, but a lot of us have been in this holistic health model for so long, we have an aversion to specialization. Because specialization tends to be one of the problems that holistic health experts have around Western medicine. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we don't want to be that way. And that's the thing. So that becomes the conflict. I've been talking and railing against specialization for so long in this holistic approach, but now I'm going online and looking like a specialist. Now I have a conflict, and that's where health coaching goes wrong. Mm-hmm. There's this quote from a Napoleon Hill book, and I will type it out, which will take me all day. I'm terrible at typing. And I will put it into the Facebook group, but it's Andrew Carnegie talking about specialization back in the early 1900s or something like that. Like, specialization is how you build a business, which is how it works. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem. All right, let's go to Kate. Kate, unmute yourself, please.
So I have some opt-in ideas, but I also have a couple of questions, and that was a great lead-in of, I thought what I was looking at with the artisan concierge gift thing was like a niche or a sub-niche or something. And I've done a lot more looking on the internet now, and it's like a blue ocean thing, because nobody is targeting the people who are buying these artisan gifts. And all over the place are marketplaces for the artisans and places to just put their stuff out there. But nobody's looking at how are we getting this whole online, population now to even get it, how you buy an artisan gift online, and, that there's an interest there and all of that. So my question is, one, I have a whole lot of back work to do as far as choosing artisans and sending for samples, and it's a long-term thing. But how early is too early to put up a lead page? If you do that, and then a blue ocean becomes a red ocean because you have it out there, hanging out there so long, and you're not ready yet to present your service.
So you're concerned about somebody taking your idea?
Yeah. Because I can see so many variations of this, and I can see those artisan marketplaces jumping on it, like Etsy and whatever.
I hear you on that one. I would hold on. I would set up your infrastructure first, so that we get your website going. I would be almost ready to launch before I actually put the idea out there.
Okay.
Because it's like if you guys ever watch Shark Tank,
yeah.
The people will have their idea, and Kevin Harrington will always say, so what's going to keep another company from taking your idea and crushing you like the cockroach that you are? And that's what happens to a lot of people, is the idea goes out there, and then the bigger company goes, oh, I like that idea, let's go ahead and do that tomorrow. And then you're kind of screwed. So I would hang on to it. I would have, when you have conversations with other artisans about this, I would have a non-disclosure agreement drawn up. And so sign it in order to get on the phone with you.
Yeah.
So they don't do your idea. I feel two ways about ideas. Number one, ideas you have to protect. Idea number, part two is like, even if you have a really good idea and somebody wants to copy it, they don't really have the inner strength and tenacity and courage to actually do it themselves anyway. You know what I'm saying? To actually execute it.
Yeah. And along that line, it was so helpful because, I mean, everything's been helpful, but I really got my story down now. And I saw for myself how my story has led me to this. And it's like a huge part of the whole thing is it's come out of my whole life, really. And so that helped, you know. It was like, okay, a lot of people can do this, but I'm coming from something that's totally unique to me of why I'm doing this, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, stories go a long way. There's a book called How to Build a Story Brand, I believe it is, that I'll recommend to those of you who have story-based businesses.
Great. And then my other question is, if you're doing before I get to the opt-ins, if you're doing something that's a premium brand and premium, you know, clientele, are opt-ins okay with something like that, or does it kind of bring down a premium brand? You have these.
I don't think an opt-in can really bring down, because I mean, you're going to need some way to build a customer database or prospective customer database.
Okay.
For you.
So I have 3 ideas for opt-ins. Do you want to hear those?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the first one, and I want to present it as, please receive our gift for you. Since they're coming there to send a gift, I'm assuming. Right. I want to do it as, here's our gift for you. So a 3 months free access to our exclusive online membership. You'll receive email reminders for gift occasions, 24/7 access to your own record of gifts you've given already, email announcements of new artisan creations and holiday specials, and then a surprise artisan gift for you on your birthday.
A lot of stuff.
So pare it down. I'm looking at, this is actually what's included in the whole membership, and they're just getting a 3-month participation in that.
Say it to me one more time. I'm processing.
Okay, so this is everything that's included in the online membership.
Right.
And so the opt-in is they get 3 months of that. They get a 3-month experience of that.
Okay. You can try it.
Because what I'm looking and hoping for is then they'll say, I want to be a member. I want to, do a year long. I want to do, it's working for me.
This is for the actual customer who's buying the gifts, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, I think 3 months is a little long.
Okay.
I would maybe shorten that thing up a little bit. But, and here's the thing with everybody here. You're going to have to test it. That's it. You're going to have to test it. You're going to have to get the stats. You're going to have to see how many people are going to the website, how many people are signing up for it. And you're going to have to look at those stats and be like, okay, how well is this converting? If it's not converting, what's wrong with it? Is it the offer itself? Is it the copy that we're using to promote the free opt-in? Like, what is it? And so this particularly, Kate, isn't really like my space. So I'm having a hard time knowing if that's exactly going to work. So I don't really have the experience with that.
Yeah.
I would.
And I'm like, to be honest, cautious about even throwing it out there in the larger B-School arena, except in some general terms, because I'm really not ready. I'm so far from the launching point of this, and I know that,
Right.
I just want to protect it a little.
Let me, and I fully understand that. I thought I had this amazing idea the other day where you hire like a mentor, like you do a phone call with somebody.
Yeah.
Base and like they get a percentage. And anyway, I thought it was like the greatest idea in the world. So I ran it by my buddy Dave. He's like, already exists. It's called clarity.fm, clarity.fm. And it is,
Okay.
actually just do a share here. Share. And so it is startup advice from world-class experts.
Oh,
And you can actually look for somebody who's in a similar space. Definitely if it's somebody who is in the artisan space, have an NDA, please have an NDA so they don't steal your NDA. But you can find somebody who's working a similar business and run it by them. And I think you just pay them by the minute.
okay. Awesome. Thank you.
No
And
problem.
I did have a couple of other ideas for opt-ins. One was that they would a free editable PDF download of a by-the-month calendar that has reminders for gift-giving occasions and a place where they can record their own gift days and record gifts they've sent. It's just a calendar item, really. No, I didn't.
Anybody here like that? Anybody by raise of hands like that, or does it resonate? Probably not. Okay.
Okay.
What else you got?
And then the last was sending them a short video of some of our artisans sharing their stories and what they're creating.
I like that as newsletter content. I think that's good to get people to get to know the artisan, their story, maybe even the artisan shoots video of themselves creating
Right.
stuff. I like that personal custom approach. I think that's good. Yeah, so something along those lines would be fantastic.
Thanks.
No problem, thank you. Just real quick, here's the quote. Napoleon Hill, you believe then that the better opportunities of the future will be available to those who concentrate their efforts along some specialized lines? Carnegie says, it has always been that way, and it always will be. The jack of all trades is good at none. The man who has no definite purpose in life, who cannot do some one thing and do it well, is like a dry leaf on the bosom of the wind. I wonder if he really talked like that. He will be tossed here and there, wherever the winds of chance carry him, but like the rolling stone, he will gather no moss. Unfortunately, the majority of people spend their lives thus rolling. So specialization, like trying not to be the jack of all trades and just finding what your niche is really going to be what blows your business up. Okay, let's go to Nicole and Daniel just real quick because I'm sputtering and I got to roll. So go ahead, Nicole. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Oh, I think there's two Nicoles on here. Are you talking? You have it on me, right?
It's just you. Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Really quick. I'm excited to be talking to you because you are very inspirational to me. One of my, I know Marie says to not be passionate, but I have like a doubt in me because one of my biggest goals is to start a podcast. I noticed that a lot of people, before I begin, my avatar is someone like me. I have kids, I'm working, and I'm always finding the need to wanting to connect with God and like just finding that I don't have enough time. And so I love your concept where you have the quote of the day. And so I realize, and I've gathered enough information that a lot of people are always seeking like, I need some type of spiritual motivation daily. I notice a lot of people have podcasts out there and they'll put a podcast out every 2 or 3 days or every week or something like that. And I want to hear it daily. I'm driving my kids to school. I want to be encouraged. I want you to give me the word, and it's Christian based. So I want to hear a word that I can line up. I want it to be 10 minutes. I want it to be quick, something that I can continuously meditate on. And I can't think of what an opt-in would be for my audience. My audience is more female, learning to define yourself, your business, who you are as a woman, being inspired by listening to this podcast for 10 minutes, lining it up with, the word that God has. So I don't know what opt-in to give to my audience. I'm completely clueless. I'm thinking that maybe I can offer like a journal but then again, that's not me. I'm not someone, I want to go on the podcast. I want to hear it. I want to be like, yes, this is what I want to hear. This gets me pumped up today. I'm meditating on a word that I didn't have enough time to go in the Bible and look up. So what can I give to my community? I don't know.
That's a good question. What is your product going to be? Sell them.
What is my product going to be, you said?
Yeah, what are you going to sell them?
I don't know. I'm like, so my whole thing is I'm just now, I'm behind too with Marie Forleo School because I actually started the Start the Right Business track first. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I love to encourage, I love to motivate, I love to inspire. I believe podcasting is it because that's my way of getting my, giving advice, speaking to people, encouraging them on their commute to going to work or on their commute to dropping their kids off or coming back home because they didn't have enough time. So I don't really know how to combine that into a business. I thought maybe podcasting would be it.
Well, that's the thing that will unfold for you as you connect with your community. You'll see what kind of pains they have or what exact product. They'll start to ask you. And people would ask me all the time, like, when are you going to write a book about such and such? I want you to write a book. I can't afford to work with you as a client. Why don't you put it in the book? And so I wrote the book because people asked for it. It might be for you a 12-page or, let me think about this, a 14-page book of your favorite quotes and your reflections upon that quotes. It can be that. It can be, maybe it's not even in a book format. Maybe it's just an email series, like a daily email series where they receive some type of inspirational quote and message from you. The reason why I asked what kind of product you're going to sell is because, like, I'm in a similar boat as you when it comes to the Quote of the Day show, where now it's just like, okay, my main product is Money Mind Academy. I want to get people to raise their hands for Money Mind Academy by signing up for the Money Mind Reset, which is my ebook on the website. And so that helps to qualify them, we'll say. But yeah, does anybody else have any ideas around what Nicole can use as an opt-in offer? Go ahead, Jennifer. Unmute. There you go. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
There we go. Okay, got it. It's funny. I was actually just typing that. One thing is I always listen to podcasts while I'm doing chores or driving or it's background noise. And I was thinking maybe her opt-in could be a daily email with some kind of an inspirational quote, or maybe even something to kind of think on or pray on. Something that could help you. Just a few minutes to connect with God every day, and a little bit of guidance.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Thank you, Jennifer. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Kate, go ahead, Kate.
Yeah, I'd say something similar. There are places like, I don't know if you've heard of the tapping solution, but it's a form of using tapping on meridian points on the body to, release emotions and things. And they have even apps now, but they send out things where it'll be like, we're tapping on stress relief, or we're tapping on how to deal with anger or something. And I think if you had something like that you just chose as a topic, a lot of times it just hits the person that day. That's exactly what they need to hear. And if you had scripture or quotes or something that spoke to that.
Love it. Right.
Thank you. Yes, that was. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Let's go to last one. Daniel, go for it. Daniel, you're always the last one. What's that about?
All right. So I was just thinking about this. Again, I'm one of these general holistic coaches. So I've been thinking about my niche, and I decided on digestion, but that's still not specific enough. So then I'm like, okay, digestion for urban-minded and urban-dwelling women. Is that specific enough? Or does it need to be digestion for anxiety, to relieve anxiety and stress, like gut rejuvenation to relieve anxiety, or,
Is there any specific digestive problem that you love working with the most, or you would love working with the most?
No, there's no specific. I don't care if it's digestion or knee pain, or I don't care. All of it is so interesting to me,
Mm-hmm. So I don't think digestion for like the urban woman, or digestion as related to anxiety would work too well. I'm trying to think of different businesses out there that are focused around digestion.
So Kelly Brogan does digestion and depression. Is that more so her thing?
She focuses on depression, but she has a holistic approach. She gets people in the door with depression because she's a psychiatrist, and then she has a holistic approach to it. And so she will maybe work on your detox pathways as they relate to digestion or depression, or maybe she works on, it depends on the individual. She can connect everything to depression. I'm trying to think, hang on a second, let me mute someone. I'm going to call out. Are there any like primary digestive problems? I know I kind of already asked this, but let me just rephrase it another way. Constipation, diarrhea, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, anything that you're like most interested in, or is it just the digestive tract period?
Yeah, there really isn't like a specific thing that I'm interested in.
Okay.
Sean, can I ask something of
Yeah,
Daniel?
you guys are always welcome to chime in. Go for it.
Daniel, I have a quote right above my computer that I look at every day that Marie said, and it stuck with me. It helped me realize that even though I didn't feel like a total expert with autoimmunity, I had to go there. Is she said, let that which most moves you, that which most fires you up, that which most scares you or inspires you or pains you or pisses you off, let that be your driving motivation. Let that spark your business. And I'm thinking you're like happy to help people with those things you're talking about, but I don't hear any fire. And I'm wondering if there is an area where you might have fire.
Good point.
So the fire actually lies in how I help people. So I'm big into mindset, posture, perspective, all of those things. And it's about inspiring, empowering people to do the actual specific things that they need to do in order to heal. Because I talked about this last week, is everything boils down to what's going on here. And what I've noticed over all these years is the people that decide or that have certain perspectives more naturally to accomplish something, they're the ones that heal. So I really want to help through digestion, help people more so with the mindset. There's no question that mindset and inspiration is my fire. That's what I love, is talking to people and being able to connect in that way.
So you want to do mindset as it relates to health?
Yeah. Because also like there's so much great mindset stuff out there, right? And it does connect to health to a certain degree, but sometimes I see the mindset and it works well, but I'm like, all right, now the people that are benefiting from this mindset, they need to know how to heal though. Now they need to know the specifics of how to actually do it. So it's like I'm trying to combine those two things.
I'm not sure if they're combinable. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, anything's possible, but from my perspective, that's a challenging one. And I'll even go back to when we would do mastermind sessions, and we worked with primarily health coaches, and we would do this thing called the 3D framework, where we're walking the client through the things that they need to do to get from where they are to where they want to go. And I would be, okay, so what's the first thing that we really need your clients to do? People will go, mindset. And we would go, nope. It's not. Or I would go, nope, it's not mindset. Because if somebody has a digestive problem, or if someone's got a headache problem, or someone's got PMS, they're going online to look for a solution to their problem, but they're not looking for a therapist. And that's how they connected. They go, there's nothing wrong with my mind. There's something wrong with my stomach. There's nothing wrong with my mind. There's something wrong with my head. So the mindset part of digestion is something that needs to be sprinkled in there as part of the content and as part of the program. But if it is upfront, how to use your mind to heal your gut, your average person goes, oh, that's that metaphysical weird stuff. I'm cool. Some new age stuff. And it's going to really like attract a very, very, very niche audience. And to be honest, like that niche, super spiritual, my mind and my body are one, they don't spend money on anything. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue. They're so spiritual that they're detached from the material world and they don't want to spend a dollar on anything. And that's the group. Kate, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Go ahead, Daniel, then we'll go, Kate.
Let me mention real quick. Well, that's the thing. That's why I wasn't planning on mentioning the mindset, which is going to be part of my program. Right. But it's when Jennifer asked me about that, that is like the fire. You know, that's my favorite part about the whole healing process, the journey. But yeah, I agree with you. I do agree. Like I've got to figure out some way of combining, or just niching, not necessarily combining.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm speaking as somebody who's been going through, decades of a health journey, and then, now this thing. And I'd say, while mindset was a huge part of it, because with going up and down every single day, learning how to not have you do that with your mind is a huge thing. But I thought I heard you use the word purpose. I don't know, maybe, I think you said that. And it's like, I wonder if just instead of using the word mindset, shifting to something that's helping people get that health is part of fulfilling their purpose, their bigger purpose.
Absolutely.
Because that gives you some motivation, when you're in the health thing of, my entire life is not going to be about getting over this health condition. I'm here for some purpose that's bigger than this. And I need my health to accomplish that purpose. And, I really had to get myself wrapped around that to even get the motivation to keep going through. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. That is the first thing you do if you come into my program is you got to be very, very clear on your purpose, on your goal, on your mission. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If without that, it's very, very difficult to change. It just is.
That's great, because I have been with practitioners where the whole focus became on the health issue, and I started drowning in it, and I really didn't have the desire to keep doing it because I lost my bigger purpose, or even that I had one. And
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It makes perfect sense.
It's good. It's just not front end. It's part of the program, but it's not part of the website itself. It's not the thing that's going to get somebody to raise their hand. If someone's got a digestive issue, they don't care about their purpose at all while they're on the toilet all day. They're like, dude, I just want to get off the toilet and be able to live a real life. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you this. Would you rather have a business that is built around health or that is built around mindset? So if you had a podcast, would you rather it be in the fitness and nutrition section or subcategory, or would you rather it be in the self-help category?
Probably, yeah, self-help, 65, 35%. So 65 self-help, 35 health. Is how I, in terms of which way I lean toward.
Then maybe maybe you should get into the personal growth space. Maybe it's not health on its face. Well, it's not. If it's 65% self-help and 35% health, then you've got a self-help business. And I think maybe right now your mind is trying to squeeze the 65% self-help business into a health model. And I think that's where you're getting stuck. But why don't you flip it around and say, hey, I'm a personal growth self-help guy. I do a personal development podcast like Lewis Howes or like, I don't know, Jay Shetty or whomever. I interview people about personal growth topics. And, a couple times, like once every 3 or 4 weeks, I have like a Paul Chek on, or I have a Dr. Sarah Gottfried on to talk about how the mind is important to recovering the body. And you do that, and maybe you get into doing online summits, or maybe you start to create products around the things that people are really interested in, as evidenced by their clicks and their downloads and things like that. But I think that you're going at it backwards. You're a self-help guy. Does anybody else agree, or is it just me? Yeah, you're a self-helper. For real.
Right. Okay.
So what I'd recommend to you is and I'm not sure, like I've seen you do video before. I think you're great on video. And I think you'd be great at podcasting as well. I'm not sure. I've never read any of your stuff, so maybe you're a writer. I don't know. But I would start to look at people online to see like whose business really resonates with you the most. Go on to iTunes and go to the self-help charts and look at the top podcasts and listen to some of those folks and say, okay, who do I really want to model here? Do I want to interview people? Do I want to do something like the Quote of the Day show? Like, do I want to do a podcast where I just talk and it's a solo show? Do I want to go out there and shoot videos and travel around the country and video people and make it a video for YouTube and make it a podcast for iTunes? Like, figure out like what the dream is and what the model is, and then we can work on it more next week.
Okay. Yeah, I got to think about this. I feel also, which is something I'm willing to do, but it's also a time and money situation. It's like, okay, so then to do the self-help thing, which is something that I've come to more recently, I realize that gives me so much energy, but I'm like, okay, now I've got to go like deep into study on that. Like what I know is health so well. Self-help, I do naturally very well. And I've of course gotten into it to a certain extent, but there's just, I've touched the surface, like you've probably read 1,000 more books than I have, so it's like, that's a whole nother game that I'm trying basically if I do that.
Yeah. And I think you already know enough. I think you're good. And I would just love to see the journey anyway. When I started the Quote of the Day show, and even when I started the Sean Croxton sessions, I didn't really know a lot about self-help. I'd have read a few dozen books about it and interviewed some experts about it. But like when I think about what I know now, which is insane, like I know a lot of stuff now when it comes to self-help as it relates to biology and quantum and stuff. And it's crazy. Like I would have never imagined that I would be this deep down the rabbit hole a few years in. Mm-hmm. But I was still able to interview Bob Proctor when I barely knew anything. And he said it was like the best interview he had done in his life. You know what I'm saying? And so I think there's a criteria that you think you should be able to meet before you actually get started. I think you're fine right now. And just real quick, the actual process of doing this, like interviewing experts, is your education.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kate.
I totally agree, but I'm wondering if you look back at that leverage, your uniqueness part that Marie has, where people tell you what they think are your 3 top things and all that. I just think maybe there's a whole lot there that you have as strengths that you didn't realize you can leverage because you were looking at health and not so much at the other.
Personal growth.
Yeah, that's interesting that you bring that up because I sent out those probably like 25 messages yesterday and I keep getting stuff in. And it's the majority of it's all connected to self-help, inspiration. And that's how I help people and that's what they love. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
There you go. Well, think about it. Marinate on it for a few days. And if it feels right and you want to completely like change the approach and do self-help, then we'll help you with that. Okay?
All right, cool. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Thank you all. It's been a marathon call. This is a great way to start the weekend. Appreciate you all hanging out with me for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I will see you next week at 8:15. So we'll go 15 minutes earlier. And I think that's all we've got. Hey, is this week implementation week or is it next week? The next
week.
So we'll do another call like this next Saturday. And then the week after that, we'll do podcasting. I'll do like a presentation on podcasting. Word? Cool. Have a great.
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you.
No problem.